something. We're going to zoom in right there. A tornado warning is actually in effect for northern Bristol County, for Barrington, Rhode Island. That tornado warning is in effect until 4:15. As you look at the radar returns, you can see certainly there are some dark radar returns over that part of the state right now. That spotter reporting a funnel cloud did not say whether or not that funnel cloud was on the ground. Most likely when it's a funnel cloud, that means that it has not reached the ground. Not a confirmed tornado right now in Barrington, but that's where a train spotter saw a funnel cloud. Talked about it early on, that the potential was there for this storm system to be a tornado. We are still getting absolutely crushed by the thunder and the lightning here in Providence.
Barrington, Rhode Island, to the north and east, right toward Taunton. These are the areas that have to take precautions and do the necessary procedures right now. This is a life-endangering situation where we could have a tornado on the ground. Rehoboth, you're in this too, down to Swansea, perhaps Dighton. These areas right in the path, you have to take precautions right now and get into the basement, because this is a serious situation. Train spotters, if you're just joining us, in Barrington, Rhode Island, have reported a funnel cloud which may have touched down and become a tornado. That's when it officially becomes a tornado, is when the funnel cloud actually makes contact with the ground. That may have happened already, and the tornado is headed toward the north and east. As it does, we do expect deteriorating conditions in the places I've just mentioned, anywhere from Barrington, Rhode Island, here in this gray area right up here to the north and east, including Taunton eventually here. This is until 4:45. Behind this, there are even more severe thunderstorms, so this isn't the end of it. Even though this is the most severe we've seen, obviously with a tornado, it doesn't get any more severe than that. The funnel cloud will push into Massachusetts. That's why we want you to know that that tornado warning is in effect for obvious reasons. You got to get in the basement if you live in these areas. The tornado winds could exceed 100 miles per hour with this. That would make it a strong F1 or weak F2 tornado as it heads toward the north and east. There's also some hail reported with this storm, up to a quarter in diameter. We also could see winds of up to 100 miles per hour. Again, even if the tornado doesn't touch ground, within this cell, we've just seen indications here in the office of winds up to 100 miles per hour possible as this storm moves in. Look at this. 2-inch hail is extremely large. That's damaging hail to automobiles and windows. Could smash the windows and the windshields out of the car. The tornado is moving toward the northeast. Rehoboth, all the way down to Swansea. You have to be concerned with this. The storm's moving to the northeast pretty quickly now at 40 miles per hour. The purple here indicating where there's hail likely. There's 3-inch hail down here, just about where the tornado is, where the funnel clouds have been spotted. 3-inch hail is huge. That will do some damage as well. So not only do you have to worry about the possible tornado, possible wind gusts of up to 100 miles per hour, but also the possibility of damaging hail as this storm now, a very powerful, severe storm. We don't see too many of these in these parts, but this is one of them, a severe tornadic thunderstorm now headed out of Rhode Island into Massachusetts from Bristol County, Rhode Island, crossing the border into Bristol County here in Massachusetts. These are the timelines for these areas. North Rehoboth in about 10 minutes. Also in about 10 minutes, a place called Briggs Corner. If you live anywhere near here, take precautions and get down to your lowest level, into the bathroom if you have one, under a stairwell. Stay away from windows, because this is a serious situation. The red swirling area here indicate what's called shear in the atmosphere. It's winds moving at different directions or different speeds, causing rotation of the wind. That's what makes tornadoes, and that's what we have here potentially on the ground. We've already had reports of funnel clouds from train spotters, and this will have to be watched very closely, and that's why we're on the air here, because we are watching this cell continue to develop and continuing to move to the north and east. All around it, lots of lightning strikes. We've had many reports of deadly cloud-to-ground lightning, over 100 strikes in about 5 minutes. So this is a dangerous cell, not only in the tornadic area, but also south and north of the cell, all the way through Pawtucket, all the way to Attleboro, and down toward Taunton. It's a very, very large thunderstorm. Jack and Lisa, we're going to toss it to you and see if you have any questions on what's going on, or maybe even some new information.
Actually, Ken, I do have a quick question for you. As we look at what you've got up there with those tornadoes, we hear about the train spotters seeing the funnel clouds. Is that what we can expect in other parts of New England, or are these likely to break up and dissipate before they move north?
Well, usually what happens is these storms peak out. They do tend to peak out, and once there's a tornado reported, they do tend to weaken, but this cell I've been watching here for the past couple of hours, and it is mammoth, is the way I described it a little while ago, because it covers nearly the entire state of Rhode Island. It goes from just about Newport or Portsmouth down in Rhode Island all the way to the north around Woonsocket and up toward Uxbridge here in Massachusetts. That is huge. That is moving to the northeast. So yes, there will be some weakening, but even with that being said, this storm will still likely be severe as it crosses into Norfolk County, and eventually this entire area is headed toward the Boston area, maybe down toward Quincy, Hingham and Hull, down toward Scituate, but somewhere in eastern Massachusetts, not just in Bristol County that's being affected now, will be impacted by what is a very large and very dangerous thunderstorm complex now over Rhode Island and Bristol County here in Massachusetts.
Of course, we have people from all over New England who are watching this broadcast right now and wondering if the conditions are right elsewhere, that we may see some cells like this develop. What makes this so unusual today? We've had rotten weather now for seems forever. What's going on today?
Well, there's a tropical connection, Jack and Lisa. There's a, kind of the express coming up from the south. This is what's going to give us, by the way, torrential rainfall here for the next 36 hours or so, is the same flow I'm talking about, straight up out of the south. And there's also atmospheric conditions with wind profiles, they're called, which also help turn the wind and turn the tornado and make it spin. We have all of that going on with this, and it's just the perfect conditions, the right conditions, as you called it, Jack, coming together to form a tornado, which is very rare. And no, at this point, this is an individual cell. This is isolated. The rest of New England right now, there are no tornadoes. There are no severe weather, at least that we know of right now. Out to the west of here, no. It's just plain rain and thunderstorms. Nothing severe like we're seeing here. This is very rare, and I would be shocked to see anything like this across the rest of New England. But this thing bears watching as it heads toward Taunton in about 20 minutes, Bridgewater in about a half an hour, and about 45 minutes right toward Halifax. So the path that I've been talking about here is pretty much on target. These red swirls, a potential tornado, and maybe another one here forming. So this is what we're watching, and this is why we're so concerned, because these markers, they're called shear markers, indicate twists in the atmosphere, and we don't see them very often around here in New England. This is a lot what you see in the Midwest. As these things come together, that's when we get the twist in the atmosphere, and that's what causes the developing tornado.
All right, so Ken, we're under this warning now until 4:45 or so. We don't have any experience really with tornadoes here. People in that area, can you go over again what you should be doing if you're in that zone you just talked about?
Absolutely, yeah. You want to get to the lowest level of your home if you're involved in this warning. You want to get to the basement, preferably if you have one, away from windows. The best place to be is, of all, in a perfect world, you have a basement with a bathroom, because believe it or not, the bathroom is the safest place to be in the cellar because it has support with the piping all around it. That would be the safest place to be. If you don't have a bathroom in the lower level of your home, get in the center of the basement. There's a closet down there. Get in the closet. If not, you'll have a stairwell. Get underneath the stairwell because that offers even more support. But we're still seeing that marker, that red circular